It's not like Tom Brady walks in and Tom Brady says, hey, do all these things. And I don't think that's the way to do it. When I got here, there was kind of a group of players, maybe 4 guys I got together with. And that 4 turned into 7. That 7 turned into 10. That 10 turned into like 12 or 13. And at that point, I thought I had a really good relationship with those 12 or 13 guys where they really could start to feel my presence and feel my personality. And, I'm not someone that lets the details go. I mean, I think I'm very intent on getting things done the way they needed to get done. I mean, and a lot of things I've learned over the years, again, don't mistake activity for achievement. We always say, don't think that's just because you're breaking a sweat, you're getting anything done. I mean, we're not out there just to run around. And I think working hard at the wrong things, allows you to get better at getting worse. If we're going to work at the right things. And I think from the day that I got here, I said, okay, these are the things that I'm going to apply on the field. I know these are the things that are going to come up. This is what we're going to work on. And I started that with just individual workouts with those 3 or 4 players. And I tried to improve that to the 7 guys. And I tried to improve that to the 10 guys. And by the time we got to training camp, I felt like, okay, we're at a decent place. The one thing in pro sports that's most important is continuity. And I'm sure it's a lot like business. The more you're with groups of people, the more you're allowed to anticipate where the issues lie and how quickly you can solve the problems. It's different in football. Football is a simple game, but it's hard to get 11 people on the same page every single play. And then when you add that to the defense, those 11 guys. And then when you add that to a special teams unit, those 11 guys. So then you add that to the other guys who play more roles on the team. Then you add that to a coaching staff. That's the challenge of football. So I could do that with the offense. It took a while for us to really come together, but I thought that was a pretty natural part of the progression. It's hard to just come out of the gates and be firing on all cylinders when you've never had the opportunity to be together.
So was there a specific moment, Tom, when you knew that, you started out with 7, you go to 12, you keep adding, but was there a specific moment where you had the team looking to you as the leader? Or did that happen automatically just because of your track record? Or do you recall a moment where you said, "Hey, I've got the team now"?
Yeah, I think everyone was pretty receptive. I mean, I think by the time that training camp started, the guys were pretty receptive to saying, "All right, Tom, we're here to do what you'd love for us to do." I mean, from a player standpoint, that's my guys, the guys that I'm doing battle with out there. They're looking to me saying, "Okay, get it done for us." And I think as the season went along, I got a little more trust of the defense. I got a little more trust of the coaching staff because, again, the coaching staff provides a roadmap. And, we want to follow that roadmap as players. And, again, they're super receptive to me having, input into those things and vice versa. It's not like Tom Brady walks in and Tom Brady says, hey, do all these things. And I don't think that's the way to do it. You say, hey, how do we do it? And they teach me. And at the same time, I say, okay, well, I like that. I'd love to do this because this is the way that I've done it for 20 years. And I can really anticipate, these things. And I'm really good at running these plays. And they'd say, great, let's do those things. And I think it was a great combination of things that we're able to learn from one another that allowed us to, reach the point where we wanted to reach by the end of the year.
So Tom, you come in this new situation, you have a lot of new players you got to get to know. How did you go about assessing the talent you had to work with?
I did a lot of that before I even got here. I was kind of looking around in free agency saying, where can I go be successful? And what place can allow me to be the player that I'm capable of being? It's if you're a running back and you don't have an O-line, it doesn't matter how good you are at running back. If you're a cornerback and you don't have a good pass rush, you're not going to be that good of a player. If you're a quarterback and you don't have guys to throw the ball to, it's going to be very difficult for you to showcase your abilities on the field. So part of my choosing Tampa was I looked down and I saw Mike Evans and I saw Chris Godwin and I saw Cam Brate and O.J. Howard. They have a lot of talent. If I can play with those guys, I think I can really be the player I want to be. And then I was able to choose here. Rob Gronkowski came out of retirement. Antonio Brown, we signed Antonio Brown midway through the year. Well, at that point, I had a lot of talented players I was working with. And it's really fun for me because again, on the other end of those passes that I'm throwing, they need to be completed. And I had a high level of talent that I was working with that was able to catch the passes and make me look good. So it's
Absolutely.
really fun to go, man, I want to see how great I can be, but I can only be great if the other guys around me are great. And I have a great group of players, not only last year, but I'm really excited to see what we can accomplish this year because now we got a year under our belt together.
Yeah, well, the whole world's waiting to see that happen, and Tom, do you have a process that you use for going one-on-one with a new teammate?
I've said this for, in my personal life, but also in my professional life, CCC, clear current communication, and why that's so important. Really being clear, not, man, I'm going to say something and see if they can figure it out, or I'm going to, try to dance around a topic. And then current, what's happening in the moment, not, hey, this thing happened 2 months ago and it's really bothered me. It's no, hey, this is the situation we're currently dealing with. And you got to communicate. And, so many people don't want to communicate. So many people want to, just keep to themselves, silo their conversations, deal with people that only are going to agree with them. And I believe in, CCC. Hey, be really clear about what it is, and let's be really current about what we're talking about, and let's talk. And I think if we work on those things, then, I don't want to have to guess all the time what you're thinking. We can't solve problems if you're thinking one thing or I'm thinking another. Or I really find it difficult for people who create expectations without telling the other person. This is what I was expecting them to do, but they never did it. I'm like, well, did you ever tell them? Well, no. Why? I mean, they should know. I'm like, get that out of here. I don't want to hear that. Now I can hold you accountable if I told you, hey, do this, or I'm expecting, this to happen, a particular situation. If you don't do that situation or that, what I've said, we're going to have a talk. But if I don't ever tell you what I want, then how can I hold you accountable for that? So CCC is really important on a personal level, but it's certainly really important in a professional environment as well.